Alright, welcome to part 2 of me talking about my Europe trip. This video is going to be talking about Germany and then the day trip that we took to Austria. So, the day we left Paris, we actually took a train ride from Paris to Munich in Germany, which I'd never been on a train before. So that was really cool, and I think it's probably my favorite mode of transportation because you got to see so many beautiful things because the trains mainly go through like the countryside of places, and that was just gorgeous. So I got a lot of really pretty views, and the train food actually wasn't that bad. Like, they had like snacks and stuff and like coffee and stuff like that, and like the upstairs part of the train, and it actually was pretty good. I had these really good chips that I wasn't able to find the entire rest of the trip, which was frustrating. But they were really good. So anyway, we got to Munich. We were conveniently staying in a hotel that was right next to the central station, Hauptbahnhof. So in there was like food, shopping, groceries, like pretty much anything you would need. You wouldn't have to venture too far away, which was great. The first day we went to Marienplatz, which is kind of like, I guess, the downtown part of Munich. That's where the famous Glockenspiel was. There was a street performer. There were actually a lot of street performers there every time that I went down there. And we just kind of spent the first day kind of exploring the area. We had some gelato. Eventually made our way back to the hotel. So the first time I went to a foreign Starbucks was in the central station, and I got to get one of the collectible mugs. I wanted to get one in Paris. I saw a couple, but they were like not in a time where I could like go over there, so I was kind of upset that I couldn't get a mug in Paris because I do collect those. So maybe when I go back. But I did get one in Munich. The next day we had a lecture about, I believe, the German education system, and then we went to the Dachau concentration camp. This was something that I was very excited to do just because I feel like seeing it in person and seeing pictures of it are very different, and they totally are. Even though it was extremely sad and really eerie to go there, like you walked in and you automatically felt like you shouldn't be there. It had that vibe. I still am really glad that I got to see it because it was very eye-opening. And I actually learned a little bit more about concentration camps in general, and I would like to visit more one day when I'm over in that area again in Germany. So it was extremely eye-opening. It was kind of creepy, but I definitely want to see more of them because it's very different seeing it in person than just like learning about it in history class. And I think it's something that everyone who goes to Europe should do. It's something that people need to see. We don't need to forget these things exist. We need to keep going and seeing them. The next day, I think we had another lecture. I don't actually remember what it was over. I have notes somewhere. And then we had the rest of the day off. So my friends and I went to the grocery store to get some picnic supplies, and then we went over to the English Gardens and had a picnic and walked around, and they were beautiful. They were so green. Probably one of my favorite things I did in Munich, for sure. They were just absolutely gorgeous. It was a great day also because, I mean, since we did a picnic, it was actually very cheap on everyone because, of course, in Europe you're going to spend a lot of money. And then we had an evening lecture at the University of Munich, and so I got to see part of that, and that was really cool. The next day we did one of two of the day trips that the group went on, and we went to Salzburg, Austria, and it was like an hour and a half by train. I was super excited to go to Salzburg because it is not only the birthplace of Mozart, but it's also where The Sound of Music takes place and was filmed. And so we kind of went into the old school part of Salzburg where the Mozart Museum is, which is in his house. And we went there, and that was really cool. There was this really cool street performer guy like in the middle of the square who dressed up like Mozart, and he was giving out free postcards, so that was kind of cool. And then some people went up the hill, again with the heights thing. I didn't do that. I stayed down with a couple of others and we just walked around. I found some really cool street artists and street performers, had some more gelato, and got to see the cemetery that was in The Sound of Music, where they're hiding from the Nazis. Salzburg was a really cute place. I would like to go back and actually like do more things and explore more of like the city besides just the old part of it, but it was really pretty. And it kind of had that cool European feel to it, which you actually I didn't feel everywhere. But the next day, the group went to Rothenburg. I was a little tired, so I stayed behind in Munich with some others, so I didn't do that trip. Instead, my friend Laura and I went back to Marienplatz to do some souvenir shopping. I had to buy another suitcase, so I did that. And then we went to Nymphenburg Palace and explored that, which was really pretty. It was a bit smaller than I expected it to be, but it wasn't like a huge castle or anything. There is a huge castle that's a couple of hours away from Munich. That was the inspiration for Cinderella's castle, but I didn't get to do that. It was a little too far away. I would like to see that one day though. After that, we met up with our friend Anna and we had a traditional German dinner at a restaurant where the waiters and waitresses actually dressed in traditional dress, which was kind of cool. And the food. Really anything I had in Germany was delicious. That was my favorite country food-wise. So good. Everything. The sausage, the pretzels, I even liked the sauerkraut. It was so good. I did not like the beer though. I don't like beer in general, but I thought I might like it in Germany. Nope. The last day in the morning, a small group of us went on the White Rose Walk, which basically we went to some of the places where the White Rose organization did things. The White Rose organization was back in World War II. They were a group of college students who sent out flyers and posted a bunch of different flyers to try and protest against the war. Eventually they were caught and executed, and so we went to the apartment that they stayed in. There was a little plaque with their names on it. We went to the University of Munich where they had a little memorial set up with the flyers in the pavement, which is where the students went to school, and then we went to see their graves. And I actually watched a movie and read a book about them whenever I was in high school in my German class. And I actually had forgotten that I did that until I went on this walk and I was like, why does this sound familiar? Oh yeah, I actually already knew about that. So that was really cool. And then that evening, some friends of mine and we went and did a puzzle room, which they actually have puzzle rooms all over. But I'd never heard of it before. And there was one in Munich, so we did it. And you get basically locked in a room, and there are clues. You have to find the key to get yourself out of the room within an hour, and so you have to find the clues and piece them together. There were 6 of us. It definitely took 6 of us. That was a lot of fun. I would like to do another one of those one day somewhere, but it was a lot of fun. The people, the staff, they'll give you hints on the television screen if you need them because they can hear you, so they know what you're doing and what you're struggling with. That was a lot of fun though, and that was our last day in Munich. Stay tuned for part 3 where I'm gonna talk about London. Overall, I really loved Germany. I liked Munich because it was, even though it was a city, it was kind of smaller compared to like Paris. The people in Germany and Austria were very nice. It helped that I actually knew a little bit of German from high school and I could at least pronounce it and maybe like pick some words apart to figure out what it was trying to say. And the food. So overall, I really loved Germany. Munich was my second favorite place we went, and I would like to go to more places in Germany one day. I'd particularly like to go to Berlin because I want to see the pieces of the wall they still have on display, and I want to go back to eat more food. So I'll see you in part 3.